Alright, we're good. Whatever. Okay. Alright, I need... Hold on. I need to be able to talk to the chat, so let me get my phone. Alright. Let's do this real quick. I know this is like really random, but let's do a tier list real quick. Okay. So I'm gonna just put these basically like I've never played before, right? So we're gonna put those away just so that we know that they could be good or bad, but I've never played them, so we're not gonna like I know the Outbreak games are good, but I never played them. Never played this. This is not out yet. This I know is trash. I played that one. I've seen people play that one. I played it once, so we'll keep this. I haven't played Revelations. I know they're goated games, so we're not goated, but they're good. So what else have I not played? I haven't played this. I haven't played this. I kind of want to play this Gaiden game, and I haven't played this, or this, or this. Okay, so I haven't played a lot of these Resident Evil games. Whatever. It's a to-do list. Okay, the to-do list is for sure Revelations and Outbreak games. We're gonna play those eventually. I have them somewhere. I'm gonna play them. Don't sue me. Okay. So these are the games that we haven't messed with. Okay. So let's go with the goated games. I think like #1 game for Resident Evil that I tell everyone they should play. Like everyone needs to play this game. Where is it? Okay, they don't have oh, it's right here. Okay, never mind. That's goated. Where's Resident Evil 2? That's goated. This is goated. This is goated right here. Okay, those are the 3 that you have to play. Like you have to play those games, no matter what. They're just like they embody the series so much, and they're just they're just great. There's no flaws to them at all. There's no flaws. Okay, no flaws at all. Okay. Now the next one is gonna be a little bit of a toss-up because I think the next one is Code Veronica. But it does have issues. But I think it deserves to be up there. I think Resident Evil 7 should be up there. Resident Evil 8 should be actually after Code Veronica. Actually, Resident Evil 4 should be. See, I don't know. It could go like this. It could go like this or this. I don't know. I'll think about this. We'll come back to A in a little bit. We'll come back to A in a little bit. But I do think it's a toss-up between these 2. Maybe even these 3. Like I could see it like this. I could see it like this. But right now we're gonna leave it like that. I don't know. I think we'll talk about each game individually before we move on. Resident Evil 3. Honestly, the old one is better than the new one. Then what does this one say? Oh, the Dark Side Chronicles. Okay, yeah, these are the ones on the Wii. This one, oh, we'll talk about that one in a little bit. And Resident Evil 5B, I don't know about that. Maybe. This one. This one. Resident Evil 0, it's okay. So Resident Evil 0 is okay. It's good. It's nothing. There's nothing really bad about it. It's just like if you don't like the multiplayer system, or like if you don't like the whole using two characters sharing, you know, like equipment bag or whatever space, it could be annoying to you. Or I can understand that it could be annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was able to complete. It's not like a game where I played it and then stopped playing it, you know, or like whatever. We're doing a Resident Evil tier list. Actually, I should turn this off, right? I have this probably playing. Let's see. Can I turn it off like this? I should close my Pokemon game too. Even though I don't think it was making noise. Okay. I just thought about it because I can't hear anything going. Because I have the headphone jacks. I don't hear any of the audio, so that's why. Okay. I could put Resident Evil 0 heavy. Nintendo, you need play these three. Nintendo, pick one of these and play it. I'm not even kidding. Like, pick one of these three and play it. No joke. It'll change your life. Okay, the worst one to me is probably like this, and this. Okay. So Resident Evil 6 is just, it's not a Resident Evil game. If they change the name, I'd be glad. I'd be happy. Because it has Resident Evil Resident Evil characters in it. It has, like the visuals are okay. The voice acting is there. But it's just not Resident Evil. It's not, like, you know how Resident Evil 4 changed the game for Resident Evil? 5 is better than 6 because 5 is actually a Resident Evil game. Even though it's like meme worthy and there's some moments where it's like kind of like what the fuck, it's still pretty good. Okay, it's still pretty good. So we're gonna go down to each game. Resident Evil 1. So like, if I had to be honest, Resident Evil 2 is the best game. If I had to be personally honest, my tier list would probably be like this. This will be my tier list. But it goes like that just because I think Resident Evil 1 is like when you think Resident Evil, it has every element in it. And it's not because it's the origin. I mean, to be honest, the director's cut is the origin, but that game's not, it's okay, but it's just very like, it's like the beta, like that. To me, Resident Evil director's cut is like the beta of Resident Evil Remaster. Resident Evil Remaster is just like, there's just nothing wrong with it. I know I say that a lot, but there's legit nothing wrong with that game. You play as Jill or Chris. You go through the mansion. There's puzzles. There's scary moments. The bosses are cool. It just has a lot. The environment's really good. Everything's just spot on. Okay. And I think because it's that good and it's the origin, that's why it's number one. I personally think the Resident Evil 2 games are better, but I can't really. They're all three of them are really really good. So like they're kind of equal. But I think just to be fair, and give it its glory, you put Resident Evil 1 remaster number one. Resident Evil 2, like I said in the stream earlier, the remake is above the original because it actually exceeded the original. When you have like the original Resident Evil 2 was such a good game, S tier rating, right? S tier, solid as a rock game. You have so much pressure to meet those expectations, and Resident Evil 2 remake did it like 1,000%. 1,000%. There's no argument. It nailed it. It got to it got a nomination for Game of the Year, but that year was stacked. I think that was the year when it was 2019. I think that was the year when I think it was like Death Stranding. I think there was God of War, Devil May Cry 5, and something else. There was another one that was kind of goated. Was it Red Dead 2? I want to say Red Dead 2 was in that list, but there was like no, like you knew Resident Evil wasn't gonna win. You knew it was gonna win because that year was stacked in games. But just for it to be nominated and be close, I think it got third. Just goes to show like how good that game was. It's really good. And then the original is it's just solid. It's basically it has everything, all the like you gotta like love the clunkiness of old games, of PS1 era games, and what it brought to the horror genre. And it's the same thing as Resident Evil 1. You can pick between Leon and Claire, and they had very different routes. That's probably the only thing. That's the only, yeah, get it on PC and stream it. That's the only thing I would say about Resident Evil 2 Remake that's a little bit of a down, is that the routes between Leon and Claire don't change very much. You fight the same bosses until a point. But like if you play the original, their routes are very different. And they had other routes that were not canon. Like they were just kind of like, there were some things that didn't happen. I won't spoil so people can play it. If they haven't played it, go play it. Okay. But those games are goated. I don't think another game in the series is gonna beat it or unmatch it. But we'll see about Resident Evil 4 Remake. We'll find out. We don't know. Alright. I'll try to go by this fast so we can go back to the Kaizo because it is getting late. Code Veronica, it has a lot of elements like Resident Evil 1 that is really good, makes it really superior. The puzzles are great. The characters are great. The environment's like that's why it's A. The environment's not that great. It does explore a lot. It is a big game. I think on GameCube it's 2 discs. It's really a big game. But it just, I don't know. The vibe of the game carries it. The characters, the villains all carry it. But like, I don't know. It's at times it's very confusing, but at times it's very dark. I actually remember the last time I played, Solara was here, and I was just like, God damn. What is Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition? I got 50% off coupon. Championship Edition is, you get every character from 1 through Season 4. You don't get Season 5 characters though. But if you do like story mode, which is like 2 fights each character, you get enough fight money to unlock like maybe 2 or 3 characters. So you don't have to buy the 5th season. You could just unlock them like that. If you see a character that you want, like Luke or whatever, you can definitely get a character like that just by playing a little bit. Like you don't have to play online. You don't have to grind anything. You just have to play the story mode. So Code Veronica is really good. I don't know the difference between Code Veronica and Code Veronica X. I know it's been on like I think it was on Dreamcast and it was on PlayStation 2. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2, and it was on GameCube, and I got it on GameCube. Also, shout out to Resident Evil 2. It's on 64, which was very like wild for what it could do. They were really pushing the hardware with that game. Resident Evil 4, it is a great action Resident Evil game. There are still puzzles, there are still scary moments. That's why, like, Resident Evil 4 did the right way that Resident Evil 6 couldn't do. It didn't replicate that. They tried to do it in 6, but they couldn't. The environment is sick. The characters are sick. The monsters are sick. It's a very long game. It has some annoying parts, especially when you have to use Ashley or team up with Ashley a little bit. It's a little annoying in that sense. But for what that game did to the genre, the only reason it's not S tier is because a lot of people don't treat it like, they don't like that it went away from the horror. Even though it has horror, the camera changed. It wasn't like fixed camera. It was now, follow over the shoulder. This is where it changed the genre for most people. I mean, it changed it for, it doesn't have the tank controls. It was more free flowing, so it kind of rubbed people the wrong way. But that game is really good. I believe it won Game of the Year. I don't remember, but that game's on every system. Like, from GameCube on, it's on every system. Like, straight up. So you have really no excuse to not play it. I think the best version, honestly, if you could go back and play this game, please play it on the Wii. It's the best version of the game. Play it on the Wii, with the Wiimote, with the sensor bar. It might sound like it's a hassle. It's the best version of the game. Like, hands down, you get the best experience. Village, I think Village and 7, there's not going to be a lot to talk about. 7 is up here just because it's a good game, but it turned the ship around. Capcom and Resident Evil was sinking. They had nowhere really. They had no ideas. If you look at D, and if you look at most of C except for even 6. So if you look at C and D except for Resident Evil Resistance, all those games came after or like around 6, right? Like after 4. So basically after 4, all these games came out. And some were okay games like Revelations and Outbreak, but the series just never really got back to where it was in 4. And 7 was able to turn it around, and 8 was just really good. I like 8. 8 had this really cool European flavor to it. The castles, the bosses were cool. Very scary moments in that game. But, a lot of people don't like Ethan, and there's a lot of bullshit to Ethan. And the story gets a little weird with the whole, fungus and I forgot what the word, myamite or mycenomite, I don't know. So it gets a little weird, but I do applaud it for what it was able to bring, and there's still a 9th game to come out. Resident Evil 9 is the next one after Remake 4, and it's the end of the trilogy for that one. So we'll see where it goes, but I'm excited for the DLC for Village. It seems like it's gonna be really good. Let's go to B. We're just gonna touch on Resident Evil 3, and then we'll go back to Emerald. Resident Evil 3 always got the short end of the stick. Nemesis is such a cool character. Nemesis in Resident Evil 3 original was scary. Like, go back and play that game. That game is scary. Probably scarier than 1 and 2. Just because of all the moments that Nemesis can pop out. They were not random, but they weren't expected. When you first play through Resident Evil, you don't know when he's gonna come out, and this guy is charging you, and he's super strong, and he has a command grab from far away. He has rocket launchers. Eventually, he gets rocket launchers. Very tough boss to beat. You can down him every time you encounter him for extra weapons and stuff, but he was tanky as shit. It's just that it's short, and it always got a really like short production cycle or development cycle, whatever. It just never really was given that full game feel. It originally it was supposed to be tied to two, and it was supposed to be like a sequel to two, or like kind of like a DLC to two. Because they kind of did Resident Evil 2 and 3 at the same time, and they kind of did that again for the remakes. The remake, it's not bad. It's just not great. It's like you have all this expectation for 3 because of 2, because 2 was so great and had this big ass, revival to the series, and such. It won so many awards. It got so much praise that you saw 3 announced, and you're like, oh my god, they're doing 3. They're gonna do it justice. They're gonna do great, and they just did it. They just fell flat a little bit. Nemesis was kind of like a cinematic thing where it still he still came out and he still attacked you, and you had to either run away or kill him or down him. But he was like, you could see when he was coming in. There would be cutscenes when he would come in, and it was never really fun. It wasn't like, oh my god, he's right there. Like it was just okay. And the visuals look great. People complain about Jill's model. I never complained about Jill's model. Jill was fine. And I really like the beginning of that game. Like if you go play Resident Evil 3 remake and you play the beginning of it, it's so good. But once you're able to control Jill and once you like escape Nemesis the first time, you can really feel. And then they cut content. In the original, there was a clock tower segment of the game, and they cut it completely from remake. So it's kind of like a shame. It's one of those where like I really hope they go back and fix it. I know they never will, but it's just it sucks because I really want it to be great, and it's okay. It's okay at best. And it's not bad. Because the visuals are there, the voice acting is there. Like it has all that from Resident Evil 2. It has it, but the game itself is just, it just doesn't live up to its expectations. So I didn't want to put it at C. I don't think it deserves to be that low. Everything else is just okay. The rest of the games are okay. C, the Umbrella Chronicle, all the Chronicle games are like on rail shooters, so they're not really like Resident Evil games, or just shoot the boss, shoot zombies on a rail, and some people could find it fun, but it's like I said, it's whatever. But yeah, that's about it. This is my Resident Evil tier list. Again, I gotta play the other games. I gotta play Revelations, Outbreak. Once I can do it on the PS4 or PS5, I know I bought some games on PlayStation Plus or whatever. But once I get a chance to play these games, I will. And I won't play all these games. I know, like the ones I know that are straight trash. Dead Aim is straight trash. Umbrella Corps is straight trash. I mean, the Mercenaries on 3D, I don't think I'll ever play it. Gun Survivor, I think is really trash. Operation Raccoon City, I don't know. It's kind of like a lot of people say it's trash, but it's like yeah. There's a sale for Capcom games, so there should be a sale. I think like Resident Evil 2 remake is like $10 right now, so go get it. Like, please play the game. Please play the game.